Hey guys, today I'm filming the finale for my Makeup Use Up 2018. I am really excited that this project has come to the end for the reason that I feel super successful about it, and I'm very excited to start my Makeup Use Up for 2019. So there were only 2 Makeup Use Up items that I was still working on since my last update. I was able to finish one but not the other. So the one that I was able to finish would be my NARS Audacious lipstick, and Raquel. I had this in my fall project pan that finished recently, and this is what the color looks like. It's a really nice pinky beigey nude. I have completely used this up. I'm so happy about that because this was a very, very expensive lipstick and I don't get the hype of this. I think the color is very pretty. This is very pigmented. It has a satin finish. It's pretty long lasting. It can feel drying on my lips. The color, I wasn't absolutely in love with. It really depended on my makeup look. So while I enjoyed this, I definitely don't think it's worth the money and I will not repurchase it. But again, it feels absolutely incredible to have this used up. This eyeshadow in Isabel from the Anastasia Master Palette by Mario. I wanted to hit pan on this and I was not able to do so, unfortunately, but this was also in my fall project pan and I was able to get a good bit of use out of this, but because I was only putting it in the outer corner, I wasn't able to hit pan, but that is okay. I'm okay that I did not hit pan on that eyeshadow. I love this entire palette, but I specifically love that shade, but I feel really accomplished with all of the makeup use up items. So now I'm going to show you all of the rest of the makeup empties I have for November and December. So I was able to use up 2 primers. The first is the MAC Strobe Cream, which is a light glowy moisturizing primer. This is okay. You guys know I have an oily skin type, so I don't really prefer glowy or moisturizing primers. My favorite one that I've ever used is the Becca Backlight Priming Filter. And if I have to pick any glowy or moisturizing primer, I will go with that one. So this is not something I repurchase, but I think it's fine. And then I used up a little mini of the CoverFx Blurring Primer. This took me a long time to get through. And this is a very nice pore filling primer. I do think this is better for someone that has an oily skin type, and I also noticed that this one did ball up on my skin sometimes depending on the other primers I was using with it or my moisturizer. So I actually do have another mini of this, so I'll be happy to use up, but I am going to stick with my Dr. Brandt Pores No More primer because that one works well with all other primers and moisturizers, and that's very important to me. I hate having to try to wipe off little pilly bits of primer, which is what I had to do with this. So it was good. I think it works just as well as the Smashbox Photo Finish Pore Minimizing Primer, but better than the Benefit Professional, but it's totally based on your preferences and your skin type, so not something that I would repurchase. I was really loving it at first, but towards the end of its life, I felt like it was balling up a lot more on me, so I would not repurchase either of these primers. I was able to use up one concealer. This is the ColourPop No Filter Concealer in the shade Fair 8. This is a pretty decent skin match for me, but it is a little bit more of a neutral undertone. Unfortunately, none of the fair shades, even when they say they're warm, are really yellow tone. They're just more neutral. And I do absolutely love this concealer. I think it is great for under eyes and blemishes. I like this best to put on my cheeks to help build up coverage if I have a foundation that just isn't giving me what I want coverage wise. It has a nice satin finish. Definitely recommend this concealer. I think you can go through it really quickly, which is a bummer, but it is pretty affordable. And if you can pick it up during a sale, that's even better. But I am going to stick with the shade Light 10, and that is the lightest shade that is the most yellow tone. It does oxidize, unfortunately, and then becomes too dark for me, but I do have the white shade from ColourPop that I can mix it with, as well as some other lighter concealers. So I absolutely love this. I have repurchased it, just not in this shade. And next I used up some under eye powders. The first is the e.l.f. HD under eye setting powder I have used. So then for under eye setting powders, I actually have 3 that I've used up, and they're all little mini sizes. The first is the e.l.f. HD under eye setting powder. This is something I've used up in the past in the old formula, old packaging. This is new formula, new packaging. I feel like they are really similar. I did not see any shimmer in this, which is good, and I think the new packaging looks a little bit nicer, but it's still really tiny. And yes, this is inexpensive, but you don't get very much product at all, so I went through this really quickly. So I used this to set my under eye concealer. I applied it with a damp sponge. If you apply too much of this powder, it gets really cakey under the eye, and I get an extreme white cast, which I do not love, and this is not something I would repurchase. I I just don't enjoy it. The first time I used it, I thought it was good. This time, I didn't really like it at all. And then the next thing I used up would be 2 little mini sample sizes of the Laura Mercier Translucent Loose Setting Powder. And my friend Jean had gifted this to me over the summer when she visited, and I just put them in this larger NYX jar to use up more conveniently. And the first time I tried the e.l.f., I thought it was just as good as the Laura Mercier, and then this time I used them back to back, and I've tried a lot more under eye loose powders, and absolutely not. This does not hold a candle to the Laura Mercier. Laura Mercier is so good. It can also look a little bit cakey if you apply too much, but I don't feel like I have to be as careful as I do with the e.l.f. Unfortunately, this does tend to darken up my concealer a little bit, but it's not a big deal, especially because I go with a lighter concealer, so then it just ends up not looking super bright, which is fine. I do have oily under eyes, and this has more of a matte finish, but it works well for me, and it just sets my concealer so perfectly. I do think that in the spring Sephora VIB sale, I'm going to cross my fingers that with all the different changes that they've had, that sale will become a 20% off sale instead of a 15. If it's just a 15, I'm going to hold off and wait until a summer sale, a fall sale, whatever. But I think I will buy the full size of this when Sephora has a 20% off sale, which is crazy, but it's absolutely amazing. I've used this at my face as well, and I do like it for that, but it is best for the under eyes for me. So this is something that's totally worth the money, and I will repurchase it. And I was able to finish one more face product. This is a little sample size of theBalm's Bahama Mama Bronzer. I had used this as a contour in my fall project pan. My friend Sierra gifted this to me. I think it either came from a Birchbox or an Ipsy, and I didn't use it out of this little size. I did repress it into a little pixie compact. Again, if you watch my fall project pan videos, you will see that. This is a great product. I love the Balm cheek products. The formulas are amazing. So this is a matte finish. It is very pigmented. It did blend out really nicely, but this is a very olive tone bronzer, which looked very green on my skin. Even though I have a very warm undertone, I can wear more warm orangey bronzers. I cannot wear something green or something red, I've learned recently. So this one is just a little too green on me. It looked a little weird, so unfortunately I will not be repurchasing this, but I think it's a great product, and I just wish the shade worked for me. And I just wear this all the time. I absolutely loved it. And then last year I ended up decluttering my full size, and I thought it went bad because it was looking green, and then I realized no, that's just kind of the color, and I guess I wasn't really noticing it before. So if you have a more olive tone complexion, or maybe if you have more of a medium skin tone, it won't show up so green looking on you. So it's a good, nice deep bronzer. Will be good for medium complexions, but it just does not work for me. So then for brows, I used up the NYX Micro Brow Pencil, and this one is in the shade Taupe. Absolutely love this. It's my favorite brow pencil ever. I do use a precise brow pencil in combination with a thicker one. So I use this to line the bottom, line the front, fill in the tail, fill in the front of my brow, and then I'll use a thicker angled one to fill in the center, which makes these brow pencils last so much longer. I used to go through these in like 3 weeks, and now they can last me 2 or 3 months, which is fantastic. This is absolutely amazing. For me, it performs just as well as the Anastasia. This is half price, and I always buy mine on sale. I have quite a large back stock right now, so I don't need to repurchase it anytime soon, but I think this is just the brow pencil I'm going to purchase for the rest of my life. And then we have my favorite brow gel. This is the Anastasia Clear Brow Gel. Right now, I am using the Benefit 24-Hour Brow Setter, and I think that it's fine, but I actually like the formula and the brush better from the Anastasia. I have 3 minis that I will be working through, and then I'll cross my fingers that this will go on sale for one of the 21 Days of Beauty from Ulta. And I do still have another of the Benefit to use up, so I've got brow gels, but this is amazing. So it does have a typical spoolie wand, but I do have larger, thicker brows, and it works well for me. I also think because it's clear, you don't have to worry about it touching your skin. This truly is like hairspray for the brows. It really keeps them in place. For me, they don't feel heavy or crunchy. If you touch them, they are a little crunchy, but they don't feel that way. They don't look that way. This is just an amazing brow gel. I haven't found anything that quite compares to this, so I will repurchase that. Then we have a little mini of the Urban Decay Eyeshadow Primer Potion Original. I do really enjoy this. I do have pretty oily eyelids, but this works really well for me. It helps to keep my eyeshadows lasting all day without creasing, and I love this a lot. I would happily use up a bunch more minis, but I don't see myself purchasing it. because I love the Milani eyeshadow primer so much, and that is from a drugstore affordable brand, but this is something I would definitely recommend. I used up one eyeshadow. This is the ColourPop Super Shock Shadow in Sequin. This was a metallic finish. This is a beautiful mix between a copper and a rose gold, and it does have some silver glitter pieces in it. One of my very first and my absolute favorite ColourPop Super Shock Shadow. I have several other colors that are similar to this one that I'm going to make myself use up first, but I most definitely will repurchase this. You guys know how much I love the ColourPop Super Shocks. If yours are starting to dry out, I recommend applying them with a sponge tip applicator first to get the precision. Do all the rest of your shadow, and then before you do your liner or mascara, go in with your finger and really pack it on the lid for more intensity. That is what I do, and it works really well. And then I do have one liner. This is a Physicians Formula Eye Booster. I've been working on this for a while. This is a brush tip liquid liner. It, I think, is better than the Kat Von D. I am using the Kat Von D Tattoo Liner Mini right now, and it does not seem as pigmented and black, and it's brand new to me. And this one is just super black. It lasts for a long time. I have tried the one from Jessie's Girl, and I found that the bristles really frayed out after using it for a while. I never have that problem with this, and this can be expensive, but I always purchase this whenever Physicians Formula is 40% off. Right now I have a bunch of different liners that I need to use up, but this is my holy grail, and I will repurchase this one. The only high-end liner I think works as well as this one is the Clinique Pretty Easy Liquid Lining Pen, but of course this one is cheaper when you get it on sale as well, so I'll purchase this one instead. But the Clinique I think is actually much better than the Kat Von D. Then I used up 3 mascaras. The first is a mascara primer. It is the Benefit They're Real Tinted Lash Primer, and this is basically like a brown mascara that you apply first, and then you go in with the rest of your mascara. I don't know if this actually primes, or if for me it just worked like another mascara. Because it does have the They're Real brush, I do think it gives a lot of length and separation. So it's not something I would repurchase, but I did enjoy using it up. And then I did use these 2 mascaras along with that. The first is the Marc Jacobs Velvet Noir mascara. It does have a natural bristle brush. It is more of a wet formula, and this does have that hourglass shape like the Too Faced mascara. I do find it isn't as intense. I think the Too Faced is really fat at the end, which can make it hard to get into the inner corner lashes, so the brush of this one is actually a little bit better. I do think it is a good formula. It doesn't really get flaky like the Too Faced does, and the Too Faced is a lot more dry and this is more wet, so I do like this, but I definitely don't think it would justify the price of this mascara. I do already have another little mini of these that I'll be happy to use up. Then I used it in combination with the Lancome Definicils mascara, which is also a wet formula and a natural bristle brush. This is a very basic standard brush. It does do a nice job of giving your lashes some length and definition. So I would do the primer first, then the Marc Jacobs, and then the Lancome, and that worked really well. This mascara is a little too natural for me to want to use it on its own. I got this in a free gift with purchase. If you buy things from Lancome during free gifts, you will have 100 of these. Not something I would repurchase, but it's just okay. Then we got 2 lip products. I have one of the EOS Smooth Sticks in Sweet Mint. You guys know this is my holy grail lip balm. It does deeply nourish my lips. It doesn't have too thick or too thin of a consistency. Absolutely love it. Will continue to purchase it, and I highly recommend it. And the last item I used up is the Too Faced La Creme lipstick in Country Star. This was also in my fall project pan, and I was actually layering this one on top of the NARS lipstick. I love these two together. The formulas and the colors worked so well together. So here's what the shade looks like. It is a peachy nude color, but like very peachy, almost like a creamsicle kind of color. So this is something I didn't love on its own, and this is something I actually had in my declutter pile, but I pulled it out and used it up, and I'm so happy that I did so. And from the reviews I read online, this one wasn't as good as their permanent shades. This was limited edition with the Country Girl palette, and this does have a really nice medium to full opacity. It has a beautiful glossy finish, which I like, but this wears away so quickly. And the NARS actually lasts for a decent amount of time. On my lips, when I wear them together, it wore off quickly, but it was totally worth it to get this used up. I would not repurchase this shade. I wouldn't buy any more in this formula, even though I think it would be really comfortable and I would enjoy it. And they're not available anymore. They were discontinued. It feels amazing that I used up 2 high-end lipsticks. These both had a ton of product left, but because they were nudes, because of the formulas, I was able to reapply them quite often, and this is like one of my greatest accomplishments of the year, would be using up both of those. So we are ending off the year on a high note with some really great items used up. I wanted to give you guys my total numbers of items I've used up this year. So as I told you, I wanted to use up 50 additional makeup products to the items in my makeup use up. So I was able to use up 84 extra makeup products this year, which is amazing. And I used up 20 of the items in my makeup use up, meaning that I used up a total of 104 makeup products this year. That does not count all the items I've hit pan on. And I also used up, I think, 3 perfumes this year, which is amazing. I will be doing a final makeup I used up in 2018 video, and I'm so excited. I love all of the previous ones that I've done. It feels like a huge accomplishment to see all the makeup I've used up. I'm not looking forward to trying to come up with the totals for those. That's going to take me a couple of days because I used up 104 makeup products. It's amazing, and I'm so excited. I feel so accomplished. I'll have to look back on previous years, but this might be the most I've ever used up. Like, using up over 100 makeup products is amazing. So I wanted to thank you guys so much for watching this video. I would love to know, out of all the makeup products you used up this year or hit pan on, what was your greatest accomplishment? What is the thing you are the most proud of? I am really looking forward to all of the videos I'm going to be posting in January, just starting off the new year with makeup collection, makeup inventory, all of the makeup I used up in 2018. I will be starting my 2019 project pan. So excited for all of the videos to come. Thank you all so much for watching this video. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye guys.